Hey guys, it's Chip McLean here with McLean Integra Insurance. I'm here today with my buddy Greg Parsons. He's an Ameriprise Financial advisor, and we're going to look at some of the things that go into building our credit score, helping ourselves be better financially over time, and in turn, those things are going to help our insurance scores too. So all this stuff is kind of important as we go throughout life and as we're figuring these things out and making sure we have the highest, best outcomes. So he's got some great things to talk about the systems that he likes to put in place and things he likes to create for you guys on that stuff.
Hey everybody, my name is Greg Parsons. I'm a financial advisor here with Ameriprise Financial, and Chip came and asked me about improving overall financial outlook, and whether it be insurance scores or whether it be a credit score, whether it just be improving your overall financial position. I think it all boils down to systems. I'm a firm believer in systems and having systems in place, whether it be for your financial future, whether it be just everyday life, things like eating well, things like working out. Having a system in place can help to make sure that you're executing on that. Mm-hmm. In fact, studies have been done over time, and these studies have been done on both Olympic athletes as well as what I refer to as everyday folks. So, I myself am an everyday folk. Chip, have you ever been an Olympic athlete?
Not yet. I'm trying. There's some things I'm testing. Like curling. We can get into some wintertime stuff with curling, maybe. That might be about it.
So until you get that gold medal in curling, you're an everyday folk, just like me. And what these studies would suggest is that for everyday folks, 5% of our ability to succeed long term is based on self-discipline and motivation. So 5%, our ability to wake up each morning, kick ourselves in the butt and go, that's going to create long-term success for us. So there's still 95% of our ability to succeed long term is due to something.
It's left out there for other stuff to deal with.
and for Olympic athletes, they get a little bit more. They got 15% of their ability to succeed long term is based on waking up each morning and kicking themselves and go. So for them, it's 85% of their ability to succeed long term is attributed to what? So 95% for everyday folks such as us, 85% for Olympic athletes, their ability to succeed long term is based on what?
Yeah. So if you think about it, the difference between me and LeBron as far as willpower goes is very small. It's everything else that LeBron can do. And the thing is, I'm not going to be able to increase my willpower enough to be LeBron, obviously. There's some other aspects, he's 6'9", he can jump real high, stuff like that. But other than that, it's going to be very difficult for me to increase that willpower. So we have to find a new way to do that. We have to find other things that we can do to put in place to make sure that willpower is not even a part of the equation anymore. It takes care of itself.
That's right. So for Olympic athletes, 85% of their ability to succeed long term, and for everyday folks like us, 95% of our ability to succeed long term is based on the systems that we put in place. I think of things like contributing to a retirement plan, whether it be employer sponsored or whether it be an individual retirement account. You got a 401k, perhaps you defer some of your paycheck, some of your salary to that account. It's systematized. It happens whether you're monitoring it or whether not.
Right.
I think of things like paying your insurance premiums, getting that set on an automatic system so that you don't ever run the risk of that policy canceling on you. I think of things like eating healthy, like working out. You got a system in place. It's at the same time. You're doing a structured regimen. You're doing it at the same time. It's systematized.
I got all those chicken breasts made on Sunday night so that I can eat them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? That's
right.
So if you apply that same principle basically to your finances and think about how your budget can really grow and be better because by putting some of those things in place, you don't need to save $1,000 a day to be a millionaire. You need to save $50 a week or $25 a week or $25 a month, but you have to make it to where you're not even thinking about it, where it's not a willpower option. You don't have the option of going to Krispy Kreme and going nuts. It's just that $25 is already going where it needs to go without it even entering your mind. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people's budgets are somewhat of a self-adjusting economy. Your at-home budget, you get home and you're like, well, we just spend money and it just goes in and goes out and we don't really know what's going on. And if you just put some small little things in place that are automatically taking those things out, you won't even notice that they're gone. It won't even be a huge deal for you. So,
yeah. No, I mean, and that's really it right now. What I can tell you is that when asked of Olympic athletes what they're doing, because they have 10% more attributed to self-discipline and motivation, the question comes up, well, what are you doing with that extra self-discipline and motivation? And the answer time and time again is, we are taking every minute of every day to inspect the systems that we have in place. Now you think about Olympic athletes. I mean, they eat the same thing. They eat at the same times.
Yep.
They work out at the same times. They got coaches in place. They got structured, disciplined, regimented schedule of things that they're following. Their whole life is basically systematized. And what I'm encouraging each of you to do is find little ways to bring systems into your life, and it will allow you to succeed long term.
Yeah, and think about that. That's really crazy that they have 10% more willpower, but they're using that extra 10% to inspect the systems, to better their systems. If they have a bad coach, if their free throw is off or whatever, they're firing that person and finding a new one. If their health is different, they want to change how they're doing it, they're getting rid of that person and they're inputting another person, or they're changing their system. And so we have to be the same way as regular people or as everyday folks. And that's going to put those things in order for all of us for long term. And that will really help not only our investing, if we're choosing to do that, our retirement. It's going to help us in our everyday budgeting, and then it's going to definitely help build your insurance score and make things better for that, so that holistically over a 100-year scale, which again, we're not talking about 5 years and we're done. We're not talking about the next 5 years. We're talking about the next 100 years, your entire life, because the way Greg and I look at stuff is on that long term. We want to make sure that you are taken care of the correct way the whole time. And that's what our plan is over time, to be using those things effectively as we go. So I want to thank Greg for talking to me about this stuff. We're going to have some great new videos coming up with Greg and a lot of cool stuff that he's got. A lot of great information for you guys. Make sure always be keeping the highest best outcomes in everything you do. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call me, call Greg, call both of us, or call your person that is like us, your agent or your financial guy. We may be a little cooler, but call some of them and talk to these people. These people are professionals. We're professionals. This is what we do. We want to help you to better the things that you have going on in your life. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.